I have a controversial opinion about Amber Heard. An opinion that I've been too scared to say, for fear of people dragging my name through the mud, trying to tear me down. I tiptoed around it in the last video I made about Amber Heard, but after reading the comments, I just couldn't hold back anymore. I have to say my piece. Now there's probably people already raging at their keyboards in the comment section without even hearing what I've got to say, but just remember, everything I do have to say is an opinion only. So let's just quickly recap. It's been exactly 1 year since the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial. After the defamation trial, Amber Heard faced some issues with Australia. She then moved to Spain. Details that I won't bore you with because it's the details that I already covered in my last Amber Heard video. A video which, by the way, is the second most viewed on my entire channel, which is amazing. What a time to celebrate, but it's also the reason why I have to do this follow-up. You see, I was looking through the comments and reading the comments. The comments is easily one of my favourite things about YouTube. You know, when I read the comments, I reply to every single one. I always have such insightful conversations with people. People will pick up where I left on the video. They'll fill in the blanks. I always see how I can better my videos. I get the most important feedback from my videos. It's just amazing. Like this one right here from Lil Fluff and Tough. They really helped add some context to the video. They really helped add content to the content. But not so much like this guy who jumped to the conclusion that I hate Europe because I said Amber Heard was trying to work in the independent European film industry. That was just confusing. Or this guy that went in about the way I speak because I don't pronounce things the same as him. Like everyone on earth should have the same accent and should speak the same. Not very insightful comments, but the majority of which are very insightful. However, I did notice a lot of people talking about Amber Heard in a bad way, such as these comments here, really going in on her. This one in particular is exactly why I had to do this video. You see, during last year's trial, we found out so much about Amber Heard, especially if you were in my position where you knew nothing about her until the trial. But one part of her life was left private, her daughter. Which is strange considering there was like an hour in the trial where they spoke about Amber Heard pooping on a bed, but they barely ever spoke about her child. And if you did watch my last video, you'll know that her life now is centered around her daughter. So I looked into this a little bit more. In the summer of 2021, prior to the trial, Amber had a baby girl via surrogacy named Oonagh Paige Heard. Today.com reported that Heard named the baby Oonagh Paige because her late mother was named Paige, and Oonagh also translates to lamb, which is just adorable. Fun fact, according to Sensible Surrogacy, someone will likely have to pay 120 grand in the United States for a surrogacy. If someone uses a company to help them find a surrogate, they often pay between 20 and 30k when they first meet with the company. Then there is also money that the surrogate gets and then legal fees on top of that. So having a baby by surrogacy is by no means a cheap way to go about it. Now during this time Amber Heard was going through surrogacy, she said this in a social media post. 4 years ago, I decided I wanted to have a child. I wanted to do it on my own terms. I now appreciate how radical it is for us women to think about one of the most fundamental parts of our destinies in this way. I hope we arrive at a point in which it's normalised to not want a ring in order to have a crib. So why did she keep this surrogacy such a secret? Why is it so private and why don't she speak about it more? Well, even today people want to give unwanted opinions on unwed mothers. I wish I had something more juicy to tell you, like the surrogacy was a celebrity, or that it was an alien child, or something. But the fact is, the boring fact is, that she probably did not want tabloids and people commenting on her life when they have no right to give their opinion. People on social media would probably be going in about how she shouldn't have a baby without the baby having a dad. Which is also a great explanation to why it wasn't spoke about much in the trial, because it held no relevancy. Now the reason I want to talk about it, and the reason it now does hold relevancy, is because of the backlash from the trial. So since Amber Heard moved to Spain to live a quieter life, her life now seems to be centred around her daughter. She's all about forgetting what happened in the trial and focusing on being a mother. It's reported that she is sometimes seen buying groceries or going to the beach, always with her daughter. In 2022, Amber Heard was rated the most hated person in the world. That puts her above Vladimir Putin. Let's be clear, I'm not saying Amber Heard is an angel, but more hated than Putin? Come on, that is a far reach. The hate she received, the hate she still receives, is way out of proportion for what she did. People are out there saying she should be sentenced to death. That's just way too extreme. What I found is that Johnny Depp has a seriously dedicated fan base who now have Amber Heard at the top of their hit list. It's way too much. Should we forget what she did? Probably not, no. And here's where I feared my name would be dragged through the mud. Here's my controversial opinion. Should she be forgiven? Yes. Yes, she should. Now, I'm not saying Johnny Depp should forgive her. No, that's for him to decide. But I'm saying us, we, people who are not affected by their lives, people who don't know any of them on a personal level, should indeed forgive her. It has nothing to do with us. Why do we hold a grudge against a woman we do not know for doing something to a man that we do not personally know? The fact is, it happened. She can't change it. The trial is over. The trial opened up the conversation about the fact that people do lie in court. It opened up the conversation to say, yes, innocent until proven guilty. People do lie. Without Amber Heard going through that conversation would not happen. She can't change what she's done, and everybody has the right to be able to move on, and I mean everybody. Her daughter has nothing to do with any of this. She's now 2 years old. She's growing up. At some point, she needs to go to school. Is she going to have friends when other children's parents won't let their kid play with Amber Heard's kid because of Amber Heard? How is she meant to go to parties? How is she meant to go to events with her mother when her mother can't go out in public without receiving hate? Imagine little Oonagh in Disneyland trying to absorb herself in the magic of Disney while people are shouting profanities at her mother. It's just not fair. You can't treat Amber Heard like the worst person in the world when there's more people in the world doing a lot worse things. Say what you want about Amber Heard, but you can't say she's a bad mother. A lot of people grow up without mothers or with distant mothers. For anyone, but in particular girls, they need a strong female role model in their lives. Amber Heard's daughter is going to struggle to get that because Amber Heard can't go out in public without being slammed. So if Amber Heard is doing a good job herself at portraying the perfect mother, which we have no reason to doubt, there is nothing that says she is a bad mother, she's clearly very focused on doing that, then who are we to pull the wool from little Oonagh's eyes? For the sake of Amber Heard's daughter, we have to move on. The irony here is that what people have to say the most about Amber Heard is that she's a bully and that she doesn't care about other people's feelings. And here we are going right in at her, bullying her and not caring about her feelings. We're doing the exact same thing, and how does that make it any better? You don't solve bullying by bullying. It just doesn't work like that. The trial is over. There's nothing we can do to erase what she's done. She can't do anything to erase what she's done. She's trying to focus on being a mother. We should just drop it. Like I said, I'm not saying forget what happened, but I'm saying if you don't know her personally, if you don't know Johnny Depp personally, if she has not personally done anything to you, then you should forgive her. you have no right to hold this grudge. So there we are. Now, anything you want to say, any opinion that you have, please do drop in the comments. Like I said, I respond to every single comment, so I'll be happy to talk to you a little bit more. And I'm excited to see what you think on the matter.